can get behind that. The starting slow. You can't lose to the Patriots.
No.
I can get behind it. If they're playing the fucking
Falcons.
Falcons.
They lost to the Steelers week 1, and everyone was like...
Yeah, and they look like shit.
And it's like, well, it's a division. And then remember the overtime, both great kickers missed like 7 kicks.
Yeah.
Boswell and McPherson, which there's another example of poor coaching. The McPherson got a contract, this, that, and the third, but they're not going to let him kick 51-yarders.
They're down
and,
by 10,
and 4th and 3.
Points. Yeah.
In the third quarter.
With 12 minutes left.
With like 12 minutes left, they're down. What are they down? Let's say 13.
I think it was 13-0.
And they're like, okay, well, we got to score a touchdown. It's like, oh, yeah, because if you don't score a touchdown, the game's over with 13 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah.
13-3. And it comes down to where, would they lose 16-10 or something?
So you at the end,
at the end, they would have just needed a field goal. And you have Evan McPherson, and you paid him.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 43 of the press conference. It is 9/11.
Oh, it's kind of not the way I would pronounce that.
Third biggest
tragedy.
Third biggest attack on the U.S. of all time, according to our vice president last night at the debate. First was the Civil War, and second was January 6th, 2021.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have to disagree with that.
She said the January 6th, 2021 attack was the biggest attack on America since the Civil War. Well, I think we skipped one there.
And Pearl Harbor.
Regardless, I think they're both retarded.
So
we're fucked anyway. But we're not here to talk about that.
There's something good. There's something America does have that's pretty fucking good.
Football.
And that's the NFL.
We're going to start with NFL. Go back to last week, week 1. Talk about week 2. Maybe a little fantasy football, and then we'll go back to college week 2 and look ahead to week 3.
We're going to do a lot more of our fantasy talk on By the Hook, so make sure you check that out.
Yeah, today we'll do a little more fantasy here because we want to keep that show about 30 minutes. Let's go back to week 1. What was your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway is stop eating fucking goldfish.
They're so
fat
good.
ass. Jesus Christ. Stop buying goldfish.
My daughter likes them.
Well, she's going to have to cut them out because her uncle's going to die. How much does she like them? What'd you ask me?
Biggest takeaway from week 1.
It's week 1. I don't think you can take away too much. I think everything. It's funny because we were at work, we were talking about it, and everything was just an overreaction. It was like, man, Amon-Ra, CD, and like they suck. And I was like, no, they don't suck. Come on,
Yeah.
I was like, Amon-Ra just, I don't know. He just didn't get the targets. He didn't get the whatever. I guess it wasn't in the game plan as much as they won the game. CD, it was more so just the tale of a blowout. So what's he going to do in this fourth quarter in the second half? Still had, like, fantasy-wise, if it's this is half point. PPR, thanks for interrupting me for that. This is half point PPR, so, like, he still got over 10. If you have full PPR, you got, like, 15-ish. It's
not what you want out of a top 5 pick.
No. That's why I took the 6th pick. This is whole fantasy talk here, but that's why I took the 6th pick to let the elite guy, the last of the elite guys fall to me in whatever cards you pick. If I got the first pick, I might panic and go CMC, and where'd that get taken? But anyway, the whole point I was trying to make is it's all overreactions. You
don't have a takeaway.
I don't have a takeaway. It's all overreactions. The only things that I'm certain of are like the Chiefs are going to have a good year, which is, I mean, did you have to go to watch week 1 to know that? You know what I mean?
No, probably not.
I know the Chiefs are going to have a good year, and the Giants and Panthers are going to have very bad years. Commanders fan at my work, he's like, I guess we suck again. I'm like, this is a fucking 17 of 22 new starters on offense and defense, plus your depth, plus a new OC, DC, head coach, new owner, new GM, new quarterback. He's a rookie. It's his first game playing. Like, you can't take away too much from the Commanders. Week 7, if they're 0-6 and playing terribly, it's like, you guys do suck.
Yeah.
But who knows? They play the Giants. Now it's like, okay, you get a chance to prove you can go out there and win, get some confidence rolling, see what goes. Can't take much away from week 1. Like, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I have a Browns jersey on. It's because it's Brady Quinn. Don't worry about that, all right? Worry about what I'm doing. But Cowboys fans, like, week 1 of every year, we could say we're winning the Super Bowl. Oh, we just beat a playoff team by fucking 50 in their hometown.
Yeah, where their defense was very good last year.
But, that doesn't mean shit. Trust me.
Bill?
There's a 7-week stretch. We got the Saints next, right? And I believe it's the Ravens or Giants or something like that. And then Giants.
Yep.
And then there's a 7-week stretch where you'll find out who the Dallas Cowboys are. Don't take away too much from week 1 from any of your teams, except for the Panthers, Giants, Chiefs.
We know who the Dallas Cowboys are.
Right.
I don't need to be told.
But for instance, if people are going, fuck, Packers and Eagles, it's like that field was shit, injury. Don't take away anything.
Bill, Any takeaways?
I think one, coaches are a lot dumber than what people give them credit
I
for,
wrote notes.
and these players need to be in training camp and play in preseason at least a little bit just to get some cohesion. Because right now, the first game, like Danny said, don't overreact because it looks like the first game they played together in a year.
We talked about this on By the Hook. Brock Purdy and Deebo Samuel, people were kind of saying, oh, they didn't look too hot in preseason. Bless you. They didn't look too hot in preseason. It's like, well, that's where you're supposed to not look too hot because you're warming up enough. Because you're warming up, you're getting loose. You don't know, like, you're supposed to get your feet.
It's practice.
It's practice. First game, you've practiced for it. They look pretty fucking good on Monday night against the Jets, who apparently is going to win the Super Bowl. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was another one that we put in there for biggest disappointment was the Jets. Seems pretty good so far. But it's like, yeah, play some preseason. Play some fucking preseason, please. If you're
Training
not
camp.
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, even Joe Burrow's been hurt. If you're not one of these top guys that it's like, dude, what's Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes going to do with fucking preseason?
Josh Allen, you almost don't want him to play because
Because
you're
he's
like,
a little bit injury
hey,
prone.
man, you're going to, no, not even injury prone, but the way he plays.
That's what I mean.
You're like, I don't want this guy to be like, get in his head of like, oh, I run for this first down. Like, just don't even do it.
We don't need you putting your head down trying to get a first down in the third quarter of a fucking preseason game.
Yeah. We want you jumping over a safety in week 1 and scoring a touchdown because the rest of our team.
Personally feel like Shanahan, Purdy, and them were like, we got a tough week 1 matchup. I want to get out there on that last preseason game and get some live reps in. Because it's like, well, they have live practices. They're not, a lot of those guys are in shorts. Sometimes it's this, when the Cowboys practice against the Rams, they're not fucking spearing Matt Stafford into the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, exactly. I took away that, like Billy said, coaching decisions. I have it on here. Harbaugh cost the Ravens the game. He had one timeout going into the fourth quarter. I understand they have a new DC and a lot of new pieces around, but you're the head coach. Having one timeout going into the fourth quarter in your fucking 18th season as a coach against the Ravens, like, you understand the game. You need to not have that be happening. A lot of coaches,
bad.
A lot of coaches, like, I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened at the end of the Texans' first half. I didn't spike the ball with 5 seconds left. Lost out on 3 points. They end up winning the game, whatever. But then Mike Tomlin, up by 5, doesn't kick a field goal to go up by 8.
On 4th and short, in perfect field goal range when your kicker's what?
5
of 5 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only points you put on the board. What makes you think you're going to get a first down and then go score a touchdown when the only points you put on the board is because the guy that you're taking off the field to lose it on 4th down?
Yeah, and I said to Billy and Danny, I was like, I think Tomlin will go for the field goal here.
And I said I disagree. Everyone sucks in this fucking NFL.
Yeah, and he proved me right. Danny proved me right or proved me wrong.
Only coach, call me crazy. I think who's an old school coach. He likes running the ball. He likes O-line, D-line. He loves defense. He's a defensive-minded coach. He plays smart. I like how he uses timeouts. He's a winner. Fucking came back this year, baby.
What?
John Harbaugh. That's who I like.
Jim
coaching.
Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh, sorry.
Yeah, because John Harbaugh
John's a Ravens dumbass. Jim Harbaugh. He's a guy that I like to fuck. When I watch coaching, I'm like, look, he's not the best coach of all time. He's not perfect, but he's like, we're gonna play defense. Everyone said they got to get Neighbors. They got to get Neighbors.
Oh, I heard about it.
If Neighbors isn't available because this team, did the Giants go before them or after them?
Right after.
Right after. If Neighbors is there, they got to take him. Maybe a Dunze and stuff. And he said, we're gonna protect Joe Burrow. How did Crosby and I know I'm fucking this up. Justin Herbert. How did Crosby and Wilkins do against?
I don't think he got one pressure. Crosby had one pressure.
Neither did
Joe
Wilkins. 19 snaps.
I gave you guys it was plus 350, plus 500, the pick for Joe Alt to go 5th overall. I knew the Chargers were taking him once they got Jim Harbaugh because it's like, dude, that's the way he plays football.
I said Patriots should have drafted Joe Alt.
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
you're gonna get a quarterback, you can't protect anybody.
And then he's not playing this year at all. Really, at least the first 10 weeks, it's like, well, what does 7 more weeks do? And then you get a quarterback next year, or go get Dak or whoever. I mean, we sign Dak.
The football mindsets of these Madden players are so bad. Football's in a bad spot. Have you seen the passing touchdown stats year by year for week 1?
Passing yards
and all that? Oh, it's bad. It's getting bad, and it's a heavier passing game. And people are saying the players are getting worse. No, the decision making, the scoring's lowering. Like, why is the scoring lower? But Brett Favre, he just posted something about how he'd play much better in this NFL where it's kind of catered and stuff. But it's like, he's not the greatest guy. But like, it's true. It's like, imagine Peyton Manning, Tom Brady in the NFL where you can't touch him.
Yeah, no. Well, we saw it at the end with Tom Brady. He was 45 years old winning Super Bowls.
Yeah, he's like, shit's getting easier and easier, but the coaching and GMing is getting worse. When was the first defensive player taken in the draft? Like 17th?
9th or something?
No, it was worse. 9th was Penix. It was like 17th.
Or yeah, I think it was like 12th.
15 or something players went on offense before. It's like, so defense doesn't win championships anymore.
Well, the Chiefs had to
because it looked like Steve Spagnuolo won them the championship more than Andy Reid won it for him. You know what I mean? And Patrick Mahomes, that defense. Look at that AFC Championship. What did that Ravens offense score? The MVP, Lamar Jackson. You know
10
what I mean?
points.
Come on.
Dan Quinn decided he went for it at some point or didn't go for it, and we were like, okay, whatever. Oh no, we were talking about it. They didn't end up scoring a touchdown. They were down 24, and we're like, if you score, you go for 2, obviously, whatever.
8-16-24.
He goes down by 17. He scored a touchdown. They were down by 24.
So he goes down 6.
He goes down by 18.
18.
And kicks an extra point with 3 minutes left.
So now it's still a 3-point game.
And then kicks an onside kick.
So now it's still a 3-possession game, and you're going to try to get the ball back with an onside to get 3 more possessions in 2 minutes?
Yeah. So that one, and then the Mike Tomlin one, and then like I said, we didn't have the sound on for the Houston game because we had 3-4 games on, and we were listening to the Falcons Steelers. The Texans got the ball down to like the 30-yard line. There was 5 seconds. I think once the refs blew the whistle, the clock was going to start, and they like tried to run a play.
We couldn't hear what was going on there, but it seemed like
they should have just spiked it and kicked the field goal. I mean, it's not illegal to spike the ball.
I don't know what happened there. I said it before the season though on the Dan Quinn thing. It's easy now after week 1 to go, I'm a genius. I said I think Mike Zimmer's a better coach than Dan Quinn overall. That might be proven right. I don't know. I still think Dan Quinn's a good coach, but when people were like, oh, they lost Quinn, as soon as we hired Zimmer, I was like, maybe, the whole linebacker thing Dan Quinn was doing over there in Dallas. Now you got real linebacker. I like Eric Kendricks. He can guard a wide receiver out there. I like the rookie from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Leo Fowl. I like these guys that the Cowboys have, and I like Mike Zimmer coaching them.
I had another note about the Ravens need to run the ball more not out of shotgun. They need to be in I formation. John Harbaugh said that they didn't sign Derrick Henry to get the ball 30 times a game, which I understand, but they're playing the Chiefs. You got to keep Mahomes off the field. And an underrated play in that game, I don't know if you saw it, but right before the 2-minute warning, Mahomes threw the ball, it got deflected up, and he caught it. Mm-hmm. Mahomes caught his own pass. They didn't have any timeouts, the Ravens, so the clock ran down to the 2-minute warning. Ravens ran out of time when it came to scoring. They didn't run out of plays. That 35 seconds really fucked them. So Mahomes catching that pass, you know what I'm saying? Because the clock would have stopped.
Right.
They would have got the ball on the other side of the 2-minute warning. Very underrated play, I thought. Clock went to 2 minutes, and obviously the rest is history. The last notes I have: Bengals suck, Giants are worse, and Panthers are somehow even worse. The Bengals fucking cost all of us.
Bengals do
Survivor.
This all the time. They started the year they went to the AFC Championship, the second year where they didn't make the Super Bowl. They started out, I want to say they were 3-3, and then they won their last 11, right? If there was 17 in that season. Mm-hmm. And then they won their 2 playoff games. So they won like 12 or 13 in a row, including the playoffs, and then lost to the AFC Championship, which was a weird game anyway that they probably shouldn't have lost.
I can get behind that, the starting slow. You can't lose to the Patriots.
No.
I can get behind it. If they're playing the fucking
Falcons.
Falcons.
They lost to the Steelers week 1, and everyone was like,
yeah, and they look like shit.
And it's like, well, it's a division. And then remember the overtime, both great kickers missed like 7 kicks.
Yeah.
Boswell and McPherson, which there's another example of poor coaching. McPherson got a contract, this, that, and a third, but they're not going to let him kick 51-yarders.
When they're down by 10,
and 4th and 3.
Points. Yeah.
In the third quarter.
With 12 minutes left.
With like 12 minutes left, they're down, what are they down? Let's say 13.
I think it was 13-0.
And they're like, okay, well, we got to score a touchdown. It's like, oh, yeah, because if you don't score a touchdown, the game's over with 13 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah.
13-3. And it comes down to where, would they lose 16-10 or something?
So you at the end,
at the end, they would have just needed a field goal. And you have Evan McPherson, and you paid him, and this, and you drafted him. Like, come on, man.
I don't know if it was right or wrong, but about 3 minutes left. They punted 3:15, maybe a little under 3 minutes. It was 4th and 6. Joe Burrow got the ball 3+ minutes left, and they got 3 yards in 3 plays, and they punted, which I'm like, they're at their own like 25. So I'm like, I mean, if you go for it and don't get it, the game's on ice anyway. But you weren't stopping them running the ball, which I don't understand because the Patriots' offensive line is terrible. Like I said, I don't know. I think the Bengals might be in a little more trouble, especially with Joe Burrow's health. You have to. These are the games, especially when your quarterback's a little banged up and your team maybe not be as good. You got some guys' contract injury issues. You got to win these games. I want to run down the games real quick. We'll see if you have any So Ravens, Chiefs, 27-20 Chiefs. I mean, Chiefs cover. I think the Chiefs are just the Chiefs.
The refs do seem to lean Chiefs.
Yeah, it was weird, the illegal formation stuff. I like it that they want guys on the line, but because after they called it on you the first time, I don't know if they explained to Ronnie Stanley what they were calling for or where they needed them lined up, but it's like, I think there was like 24 or something. There was like six called last year in week 1, and there was like 24 this year, and there was only a certain amount. There was already more called in week 1 than there was all of last year, and it's like, if they told the players, hey, man, this is what we're calling, and the players just said, fuck off, then okay. But I'm also like, it felt like the refs wanted to be involved. And I thought, from what I was seeing, the Chiefs were kind of doing the same thing, and they weren't getting nearly as many calls.
I thought so as well. And Tyron Smith was like in a 3-point stance lined up with a center. That is not catered to his game. But the goal line forward progress, too. The Ravens fucking had him stuffed for like 5 seconds, and then Pacheco scores, and they're like, yeah. I was like, when do you call it?
Yeah, I don't like when the offense can just sit there, hold it up for 1, 2. They're moving forward a little bit, but it's like once the defense starts moving backwards, we're blowing it dead. And it's like, well, how the fuck does that work? Right. Like I said, what kind of rapid-fire thoughts through the games? Packers, Eagles, all I have is Jordan Love. If he's out for an extended period of time, either call Ryan Tannehill or just blow the season up.
Yeah, it's over. He's great, though.
Love, he is fucking great. Looks good. He throws every ball like a fadeaway.
Great ball, though.
And then Saquon Barkley, obviously.
But they had a few drops where I'm like, hey, they could use a guy there.
Yeah.
Do they have a guy there?
Yeah.
He's a fucking idiot. The field was terrible. Never go back to Brazil, just for in a general basis.
I think the Brazil stuff.
Even on like vacation or anything, I wouldn't go back there.
Bill, you got any thoughts on that? Any of those first 2 games?
No, you guys covered everything.
Cowboys, Browns. Dak got signed. Obviously, CD got signed. Dallas looked pretty good. The Browns just look so bad. It's hard to like judge how good you look.
It's week 1, yeah. Deshaun looked horrific.
But the offensive line was terrible. Like, he got hit way too many times.
You see that throw where he threw it out of bounds to Judy?
Yeah.
He was he had all the time in the pocket. He just looked. They all look bad.
It's the problem.
That over line has been overrated for a long time, and they can thank Nick Chubb for that. Because it's like, well, because everyone says their run game. Look at their run game. It's like, that's because Nick Chubb. That's not because of that O-line.
I mean, Ford did all right, but Nick Chubb's a different beast.
Is it Botinho? Botinho? Who's their right guard? He keeps getting ranked like all these PFF and all this over Zach Martin. I'm like, it's Nick Chubb that they can thank. Whereas on the Cowboys, it's actually Zach Martin that you could thank.
Yeah, exactly. Zeke scoring touchdowns for us. Like, we have a good line. They have a really good run. If you put Chubb behind our line, Jesus fucking Christ.
Holy hell.
Cardinals, Bills.
Bill's defense looks horrible.
2 words, Josh Allen. That guy.
DeMar Hamlin is starting.
Yeah. Josh accounted for every touchdown they had. 2 rushing touchdowns landed on his hand at one point. I haven't heard anything, but I don't think they'll be able to do that with him all season long. You can't. You could take hits, but Cardinals,
we said it. They'd be surprising people. They're not a terrible team.
They're going to fight. But Josh Allen having 9 rushes, I just don't want to see my quarterback doing that.
He's my fantasy quarterback for 2 out of my 3 leagues.
Yeah, well, you want to see that then, but you can't be taking the hits, and he doesn't.
I don't want to see him hurt though.
He doesn't go down either.
He doesn't.
Patriots, Bengals. We've talked about it. Bengals, like I said,
we ran through
Joe Burrow's health. We need to.
Fuck that.
Vikings, Giants. You give Sam Darnold a guy who knows how to coach a quarterback, and apparently he's not the worst quarterback of all time.
Again, another one of those where like he went 19 of 24, everything like that, but it's the Giants.
Yeah, I can't go too crazy on that, but at the same time, you put a guy in a system where it's, hey, put the ball here. Makes it a little easier than saying, hey, you're going to be our 3rd pick overall. You need to change our franchise around.
For the worst game of the week.
Yeah.
Titans at Bears.
Titans, Bears. Michael Lombardi said it. I've said it. They should have went with a lineman. Their O-line looks terrible. Roma Dudes, and not that he's hurt, so it's a bad pick, but like he wasn't. If they had Joe Alt at right guard, right tackle, whatever they wanted him to play. But I'm saying they could have.
J.C. Latham.
If they moved up and got, or Latham, if they got someone that could protect Caleb Williams, especially in Chicago in the NFC North, all those teams besides the Lions play, Lions and Vikings, play outdoors. It's going to be cold. You need to be able to run the ball December or January, and that's playoff football anyway. I think Ryan Poles kind of made a Madden team, which is cool.
You got like guys like Aiden Hutchinson in your division too. Like, protect this fucking guy, man.
Yeah, exactly. There might be a team like Jair. It's like, okay, take out one of our receivers, but if we can run the ball down your throat.
But it's also like, look at the championship formula. What were the receivers of the Chiefs? They won the Super Bowl, man. When did the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl? When their O-line was hurt. Yep. When did they win the Super Bowl? When they had the best O-line in the league. Like, it's just the Eagles and Chiefs, the Niners and Chiefs. That's the last 2 Super Bowls, all top 5 O-lines in the league.
It's pretty simple. math, but like I said, a lot of these guys haven't figured it out.
Can you name me? The Bengals are the only team that in my lifetime I can remember that had a horrible O-line and made the Super Bowl, and they still didn't win it. And they probably didn't win it because Jamar Chase was wide open on that.
Yeah.
But he gets sacked because they have a terrible O-line.
I mean, it wasn't good, but I don't think that O-line was like historically bad.
He was the most sacked player in the league that year.
Yeah, well, like I said, he's literally said, count half of those sacks as on me. Like he's a good teammate.
That O-line sucked.
No, but like some of them, because you look at it and he's like because they were watching film and he's like this right here, what is me taking? Who gives a fuck?
Like Tom Brady with the Bucs O-line, they were fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back of all these Super Bowl teams that every single Patriots team, count them. O-line, you know what I mean?
No, that's what they had. They had Julian Edelman at wide receiver 1.
Every single Manning Super Bowl, count them. Like all these O-lines are fantastic, but then you see these teams like you have Keenan Allen, you have DJ Moore, you have Cole Kmet, you have DeAndre Swift, you have some depth beyond that, and you're like, we have to draft a rookie wide receiver, even though we have no O-line. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it kind of blows my mind when some of these teams do stuff like that, and then they'll wonder why they missed the playoffs or why is our quarterback hurt? And it's like you didn't get anything to help him. I mean, you got something to help him in terms of a receiver, but nothing to protect him. But yeah, Titans coach came out and said, if we would have just punted the ball on 1st and 10 every single drive, we probably win that game. Will Levis physically gave.
That's probably the worst thing you could say about your quarterback.
Yeah. 0-1 in the Vrabel era, and it looks pretty bad the way you lost the game, where it's like, well, fuck. No
offensive touchdowns. The Steelers were the only team to win without scoring a touchdown, and the Bears were the only team to win without an offensive touchdown.
Yeah. Steelers, 6 field goals. I picked up Boswell on fantasy this week. Can't believe he was still on the waiver wire just because, you got to put on
they're
a field goal kicking team,
and they're going to need to be because they're not going to be a touchdown scoring team.
Yeah. Falcons, obviously,
My only problem with the Boswell thing is I see a lot of like under 20-point games for them.
Yes.
There's gonna be those 10-7 wins where you're like, oh great, I got 4 points from my kicker.
Better hope he hits a fucking 65-yarder.
Yeah, you better hope that 3 is a fucking 70-yarder.
Falcons.
Which Cowboys almost attempted a 71-yarder.
Yeah, I would have gave him a shot at it.
The 66 barely made it though.
He was there by 3-4 yards.
Dude, he can kick.
Yeah.
He doesn't look. He's only in his second season. You would think he's Justin Tucker. Like he goes out there and he's kind of like relax, kicks. 66-yarder. That's right through the middle, and he made it quite easily.
Speaking of Justin Tucker, missed another 50-plus yarder.
Sorry, go ahead.
Just
1 of 5 last year, 0 of 1 this year.
I was going to say, might be losing his fastball.
Yeah, I think he did. But again, I was going to touch on the Cowboys. Another bad coaching decision. I mean, you can't take those timeouts in the second half. Play clock's running down. He's like, it's supposed to go up. It's like, call the fucking timeout anyway.
What does it matter if it's supposed to go up? You call a timeout, it resets to 40.
Coaches doing that all the time. They argue with the refs in college and pro to reset the play clock.
I'll see that in the middle.
I've never seen anybody ever do it. It's like
they will from time to time, but my whole thing is in that situation, you do it once or twice and you get the first timeout, and then you bitch at him about it, but you didn't just take 3 points off the board.
Right.
Yeah.
You took 3 points off the board now.
Yeah, he got lucky that they didn't really matter. But there's IQ of this game is just horrific. Is that me? IQ of this game is just horrific. Like it's just horrific, man. Like we were touching on the Will Levis thing. I said it was 3rd and 7 at like his own 40 when he threw that pick 6. Which if anyone saw it, he's pretty much going down. He just tries to huck it out of bounds and it gets caught. Pick 6. If you take the sack there, it's 4th and 10. You lose 4 yards. You're still punting. If it miraculously gets out of bounds, you don't lose 4 yards. You're still punting.
And you're in a game where you're winning or it's tied.
You don't need to do that.
Was, and the clock is still running.
You never need to do that, but in that particular situation, you don't need to do that.
You need to do that in the fourth quarter when you're down by 7 and it's 4th down. That's the only time you can attempt something like that.
Right.
But
where it's like this ball has to get out of your hand. If you take a sack here, you're like Malik Willis. It's like, dude, just throw it.
Going to Steelers-Falcons, the Falcons, I know it's week 1, but Kirk looks a little – I think they'd have been better off with Penix, obviously before the season. Kirk looks a little fucking slow, hurt. He didn't take any snaps under center.
He lost his fastball, too.
He did. But
he's
older.
There was a couple throws where like I could see it in his face. Like he looked like, he's about to throw a bomb, and it went 4 yards. And the route was 10 yards, and you're like, uh-oh.
Jags-Dolphins. I don't think the Jags played bad. Obviously, Tyreek Hill had a situation before the game. So I think both people were wrong. He could have been better with the window down and whatever.
Yeah, he was being an entitled asshole, and the cop was being a fucking power-stricken asshole, too.
Yeah. The one thing, Tyreek was like, "Oh, I'm being a black man in America," and the cop's like, "Dude, we're all Mexican and brown."
I think they were all Cuban because it's
yeah,
Miami.
Cuban. Yeah, he was like that.
He's like, we're all brown. Doesn't matter what they are.
But like I said, I thought both parties could have been better. Either way, he scores a touchdown, 80-yard touchdown, to have him in fantasy, so that worked out pretty well for me.
Did you see what happened with the ETN fumble and stuff?
Yes.
He fumbled at the one. Bill, did you see that? They're up 17-7. The Jags.
He's going in.
He's going into the end zone. He fumbles at the one. They get the touchback because of it. The Dolphins. And on the first play, they score an 80-yard touchdown. So 17 on one play, just like that in 10 seconds. 24-7 goes to 17-14.
17-14, sorry.
And then if you don't believe momentum exists in sports, the final score was 2017 Dolphins. Jags didn't score again.
Yeah.
That was right at the end of the third quarter.
Doug Peterson needs to kind of figure it out, too. I mean, yeah.
It's not really on him. I mean, he has to just say, don't fumble the fucking ball there, asshole.
No, of course, but, it's the same thing when you continuously lose these close games. It starts at the top where it's like, we need to start winning some.
I don't think he's the greatest coach in the world, but and there's particular situations where if you look back at this game, you'll go, that's not on Doug. But, he didn't do anything to help him win either.
No, exactly.
Trevor Lawrence.
12 of 21.
When he's good, though, that touchdown pass to Brian Thomas, oh, my sweet Jesus. He can throw a ball.
Yeah. The problem is when he throws it to the other team, it doesn't look as good.
That's another guy with a GM and a coach that's kind of like, can he get some help here? Like we talked about Brandon Staley, like if you just take Mahomes out and put Trevor Lawrence in, he's the MVP too.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? I love Mahomes. He's a great player, but like he's in a perfect system with Andy Reid and with that O-line and those GMs.
Yeah,
and
put him on the Bills and we'll see what Patrick Mahomes is made of.
But that's just another GM work where it's like, we need a wide weapon. Brian Thomas Jr., it's like, how about you get an O-line for the fucking guy that keeps getting hit?
Yeah, and fumbling
and
the
their
ball.
O-line has improved. It's not the worst in the league, but and he's a dog too. Like he'll take the hits, laugh.
Oh yeah, no, Trevor Lawrence is a dog. He's
but
just
if he can make a sandwich in the pocket like he was at Clemson, watch that guy deal.
Yeah.
Watch what Herbert's gonna. When Herbert gets a guy and they get going and they start getting some momentum, watch him deal. And health.
Next game, the AFC South game. Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud both put on a show.
They're both really good.
Anthony Richardson had 212 yards passing, Bill. How many completions do you think he had?
Anthony Richardson?
Yeah.
212 yards passing.
I think it was less than 20.
It was less than 10. It was 9.
Every play was huge.
Less than 9.
That first touchdown pass he threw was fucking unbelievable.
It was perfect. Perfect.
Couldn't put a ball in a better spot. Fell down. Threw it off his back foot. 67, 68 yards in the air.
Boom, right in the chest.
Stroud just made play after play, third down, throwing across his body, jumping, slipping, getting up and throwing it. That guy's all over the place.
When I love when a good quarterback, when the ball leaves his hand, it goes to a right. It's a perfect spiral. It's good velocity. It's good height. It goes to the right spot. All these things. I don't think there's a better ball out of hand than C.J. Stroud.
No, it's amazing.
That guy's ball is pause. That guy's ball is perfect.
Yeah, they are perfect. Every ball he's got. But yeah, that was a good, perfect AFC South game. Got the cover on the teaser for Bill, or for Danny.
No, I had Texas.
Did anyone have the Colts on it? Oh, I had the Colts on the teaser. For me, sorry.
I had the 2-team teaser I had, if you watch By the Hook, I had Texas on it to
Texas
-1. Texas Longhorns, and they won by 74. So
yeah. Chargers Raiders AFC West game. Jim Harbaugh's a better coach than Antonio Pierce. Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than they got.
Yep. Bang, bang.
J.K. Dobbins hit a few good runs, but pretty much straightforward game.
So we got Wilkins and Max Crosby. Worry about your quarterback. Harbaugh said, well, we got Joe out. We are fucking worried about. We're not worried about our fucking quarterback. They still got to work on the interior line a little bit because there was some pressure coming through.
But you can only do so much in a draft and an offseason,
Right.
They
got some health issues there too, historically. Fuck, man. You get a guard, you're fine. You get a center, you're fine. Who they have? They still have Lindsley there? But the tackles, Joe Burrow don't got to worry about what's his blind side or what he can see on his outside, left behind, he's fine. He ain't getting touched.
Seahawks beat the Broncos 26-20. Bo Nix threw the ball 42 times. They rushed it 25 times.
Pretty smart.
Don't love that, but yeah, here's the only problem. Jaleel McLaughlin, 10 carries for 27 yards.
2.7 yards per carry.
Javonte Williams, 8 carries for 23 yards. That's 2.9.
2.9 yards.
Audric Estime, 2 carries for 14 yards.
7 yards per carry.
7, but he did fumble his first.
On the 12-yard run.
So you kind of have to have him throwing the ball if you're not running.
That's kind of one, though, as a rookie, you smack him in the back of the head and you say, you fucking idiot, jumping over someone and fumbling.
No, exactly.
And then you get him back in there and go, okay, you're still our best running back, though.
Yeah. And then Kenneth Walker had 20 carries for 103 yards, which is 5.2 yards.
That's another example, though. They're going quarterback and stuff. It's like, who's protecting your quarterback? Because your line is not great.
Mm-hmm.
What's your run game look like? Because the running backs are not great. Who's your quarterback? They're in a situation where it's like, you don't even have a guy to throw it to.
Yeah, their team sucks.
They suck. You didn't need a quarterback. I get Sean. Here's the thing. Sean Payton he came back in with the intention to win. He's Sean Payton. It's not like he's some rookie coach. He's not Mike McDaniel.
Dallas Cowboys.
He's not Mike McDonald or something from the Seahawks where he's like, I'm 36, or however old he is.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take some time, build a team, build a career, get my coaching, get my feet wet, all this. Like Sean Payton's like, I want to win right now. And it's like, well, your team sucks right now.
Mike McDonald got into a nice situation, though, with Seattle.
Yeah, he got into a lot better situation than
he's a great
the dude on Tennessee.
Coach, solid defense, weapons, running back, O-line, and Geno Smith is a serviceable quarterback.
Sean Payton thought he was in a good position for some reason. People think that defense they suck.
The Broncos are one of the worst teams in the
NFL. And here, people are saying he knows what he's talking about with the quarterback thing. He drafted a quarterback because he wants to win right now, and you need a quarterback.
I love, like I said, my guy Michael Lombardi. He said that he knows how to do whatever with a quarterback. What quarterback did he ever make good?
Drew Brees was good with the Chargers before he got there.
He was the OC for Romo.
Yeah, like, does he know how to really establish a quarterback, or are we kind of just saying that a little bit?
They just said that he wanted to trade up for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, they said he always wanted Romo. They convinced him to sign Romo, and he wanted to trade up for Patrick Mahomes, but it's like...
Well, I mean, that's good.
How many times did he want to trade up for, I don't know, a bus? And they
right,
right yeah, we hear about that.
I truly believe that
I believe he's a good coach.
He was going whatever quarterback fell in his lap because he wanted a quarterback to try to win this year because, like I said, he's not in there to try to build the Broncos up for the next 3 years and then have 2 bridge years and then look for it and this.
Yeah, no. Sean Payton, you bring him in to win. That's why I said if he waited and this year Mike McCarthy gets out, or even if we can figure that out somehow.
Mike and him both.
And they're
in the same quarterbacks and won Super Bowl.
Because let's say Bo Nix works out and he actually looks pretty good in 4 years, and you finally have built something around him, and that's when you're going to have to give him $60 million. So it's all going.
Then it's going over anyway. Commanders, Buccaneers, just so we can wrap up this weekend. Commanders can't stop a fucking paper bag rolling down the fucking field.
It's a very new team. It's hard to judge them. And also, I really like that Bucs team.
So do I.
See what Baker said.
Why were the Falcons favored to win that division? And like, I feel like we talked about it, but we didn't make enough of a deal about that. Like,
we should have took all the equity out of our house and put it on the Steelers money line because
that's what I'm saying. Like that, week one, I'm pissed that I didn't put way more money on that. I bet the Steelers again in game when they were like minus 160, and I'm like, this team, I'm watching. Their Falcons are not going to win this game.
Isn't it crazy?
TJ Watt is in the backfield more than Kirk Cousins.
Well, A-Rod recovered from his Achilles, and Kirk just is like
he had like 10 more weeks.
He should have done that surgery.
He had more weeks.
10 more weeks. Maybe they did a different rehab or something too. And then sometimes people just don't bounce back. Like KD bounced back from his Achilles.
He's better or something.
DeMarcus Cousins didn't.
He didn't. Clay, you can't really judge because he did Achilles to ACL.
Kobe didn't.
Years.
We also didn't see Rodgers move that much, but Rodgers' arm is so strong though. He doesn't really use he uses his legs, but Rodgers just flicks like a jump shot. Kirk Cousins, you can see like he doesn't have the arm.
Yeah.
Rams Lions was a fucking banger. If the Lions wanted to just run the ball the rest of the game, the clock would have ran out.
On the Bucs, I saw Baker Mayfield on the sideline. He said, "If they're not going to double Mike, I'm going to throw it up." So he said it's not fair.
I get him in fantasy every year in like the 5th, 6th round, and I don't understand.
Yeah,
he should be like a 3rd round pick every fucking year.
I think people just get worried that like Baker's not going to be able to get the ball to him for some reason, and it's like his entire career, no matter who his quarterback, he puts up numbers.
He just said, I think people get worried that, and I'm like, that what? He's not Mike. Like he's Mike Evans.
Like you're worried this is going to be the year.
He's just a guy who has too many of those weeks where he has 4 catches for 80 yards, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
so he's not going to go top 2 rounds because of that. Because CeeDee Lamb really, we blew the Browns out, but he doesn't really have those weeks. He always has like a few carries for 20 yards, a touchdown every week, and 100
yards receiving.
Yeah. Imagine if Baker's the one that makes it so Mike Evans is just putting up insane.
That's what he said. He said, if they're not going to double Mike, I'm going to throw it. He was literally laughing. He said, it's fucking cheating. Like,
no, it is. I mean, I'm just saying in terms of a receiver, he's very good.
It's the Commanders. Literally, the Commanders fan at my work said we have the worst corners in the league, so it's really hard to judge that. Such a new team, but I think the Bucs are great, and I think they look great. That's a team that I picked the Lions to come out of the NFC. I think you guys picked the 49ers.
I picked Lions.
You picked Lions. Eric picked the 49ers. Everyone's picking one of those two teams. And then some people are saying Packers. Some people are saying Eagles. And another couple 1% are saying Cowboys, right? I didn't hear Bucks.
Why not us?
Why not Bucks?
Yeah. I mean, they could. They probably won't.
They not like Bucks.
Okay. Well, now we're going to move on to the next game.
All right. We could just end the show.
Yeah. Like I said, Lions, Rams. McVay did a great job with how many people he lost to keep that close, but Dan Campbell also helped that. And then Jets, Niners. Niners have played in so many of these big games that this isn't really a big game to them.
Ayuk dropped the ball.
Yeah, it was a tougher catch, but you got to have it.
How much does he make a year?
That's the whole thing. You wanted to sit out and do this and do that. You weren't really. I mean, I get it. He didn't even practice with the team, so okay. But like, you got one where it was a for sure touchdown, and you could have been like, hey, because it was still a close game at that point. So he could have been like, hey, making plays when we need it. And what did he do? He dropped it right in his fucking hands. The McCaffrey thing's kind of weird. I'm a little annoyed that they waited, and then Jordan Mason said, I knew Friday, and then Shanahan's like, no, he didn't, and I'm like, well. He just said that, so I feel like I don't know.
Sounds like he did.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like that might have been the case. But
that's poor kid.
Yeah, they ruined his whole night.
He was like, dude, this is what I don't know. Because he's like, basically what he was saying was, you asked a question, I gave an answer, and now I'm the biggest fucking cunt in the world.
When here's the two things. One, my team should have just said it to begin with because you're the 49ers. You were going to beat the Jets without fucking Christian McCaffrey regardless. And then two, it's like, this is a rule, and you know that, like, you know what I mean? Like, just don't be a cocksucker. Like, who gives a fuck? The guy's out. You think the Jets are saying, oh, now we can change our whole defense up because one guy's out. It's like, dude, you guys still have a good offensive play caller. You don't need to, like...
Actually might have benefited them more because I may be like, they're going to go pass heavy, and then Jordan Mason gets a little bit more...
Bent
open.
him over.
Yeah.
Anything else week one? I know we only got like fucking 55 minutes, so I'm just kind of trying to rifle through, but...
We got the standings.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so the picks from week one, you mean?
Yep.
Perfect.
I went 10-6, and you both went 11-5.
It's not bad.
It's a good week.
There was a couple games where I looked back because I was watching them, and I was like, why did I pick... For instance, I took Ravens.
I took the Browns, huh?
I was like...
Yeah.
We all took
did the
Browns. See, those two, I'm like, I was just kind of being a cunt.
I picked the Giants just because I was like, some team's going to get upset, and it was supposed to be the Patriots, apparently.
What does that say about the NFL that realistically, if I wasn't being such an asshole, I should have went 13-3 or 14-2? Does it make it predictable?
I don't know. I mean... I don't want to say it's easier, but
Niners,
like the better teams do
based
kind of
on their off-season drama. What we were seeing, like
CMC
going to be out.
I was being an asshole.
Trent Williams going to be out.
The Jets, Browns, and Ravens picks. I should have got those right and went 14-2. I don't know which ones I missed that I genuinely missed. For sure, the
Bengals.
Patriots. But besides that, I'm like, how did I get this so easily?
Titans, Bears. Did you? Colts, Texans.
I think I did take the Colts.
Yeah.
So if I took the Colts, that's fine.
Lambs.
That's fine.
Rams,
You
Lambs.
both took the Colts.
Rams, Lions. Jesus Christ.
I took Lions for sure.
So
it was Colts. Colts and Pats, I'm fine with missing those. But outside of that, like I should have went 14.
No,
You and I picked the Packers too.
Yeah, we should have good weeks. It's just a matter of certain weeks when a guy's banged up, a guy's hurt, McCaffrey ends up being out, but it's like it's Kenneth Walker that's out, and it's like, well, Zach Charbonnet is a pretty good drop off. That running game's going to hurt a little bit from that. I'm not
going to listen to any outside noise. I'm just going to do my own shit.
Yeah.
That's what I do in the UFC, and I do so well on the picks over there. If you watch By the Hook or if you watch In the Clinch,
special guest on In the Clinch.
Yep, slap fight, fucking chant.
He'll slap your fucking head off your.
And
dick.
if this gets enough views, if that gets enough views, all this, he will slap the fucking piss out of me. So let's make it happen.
You're unbelievable. Want to knock through our picks of week 2 and then kind of go through the games.
Make that fucking short. What just happened right there?
I will. Well, playoff eliminator.
Oh, please.
Oh, we forgot playoff eliminator.
Well, we couldn't do it last week.
Why not?
No, we could.
I just wanted
Let's
to
do
yell.
two
I just
right
wanted
now.
to yell at him.
Let's do 2 right now.
I thought we always did it after the week.
Well, does that work? We'll just do it. We'll just do one. If we'll figure out the semantics after.
Worst case, we do 2 at the last.
How many teams are in the NFL? For 32.
32 and 14 make it.
So that leaves 18 weeks. So we should do the 4.
What?
Like we want to eliminate 8.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway.
Because there's 19 weeks because of bye weeks, right?
No, there's only 8 to 17
games. My bad.
So let's just do 2 right now.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you right now. Give me the Panthers
and
the Patriots.
Give me the Panthers and the Giants. I'm not going to take a 1-0 team. I'm going to take a 2-0-1 team.
Scared the Patriots are going to go on a run?
I mean, that's just kind of crazy not to make it the Giants when
Tommy fucking Cutlets comes in and starts fucking
Yeah.
having the crowd throwing the gang signs up. Hey, let's shut those dogs up before I do it.
Kill
for
your
you.
dogs, Bill. Billy's beating his dog off camera.
I just think Patriots because I think that division is so tough, and then the conference is so tough.
And the Patriots aren't going to make the playoffs.
Okay.
It's fine with that.
Just making sure you didn't.
I just think it's crazy that the Panthers-Giants isn't immediately what you took.
No, like I said,
Who do you think will be the 2 worst records in the league this year?
Panthers. The Panthers should have the worst record. They might not win one game.
Okay. It's the Giants.
No, I don't, honestly. Like you said, they only beat the Bengals. They scored 17 points. They only beat them, or 16 points. They only beat them because the Bengals were so bad.
It's the Giants in your heart.
I don't. I actually really don't. Because the Patriots, I feel like...
So I put a fucking gun to your head right now and said you got to get it right.
Because here's the thing.
You just got to get the bottom 2 records right now. Take them. Boom.
Panthers, Patriots.
You're a fucking idiot.
Dude, because do you understand my logic in this? The AFC's tough. The Giants could beat the Commanders this week, and the Patriots lose to the Seahawks, and they're 1-1.
This is a pointless argument anyway.
I'm going to do Panthers-Titans.
That works too.
I'm going to save Giants and Patriots.
That's the worst answer we've heard.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just kidding.
Save them for a week where it's like, oh, this is a tough one. Let me pick these two.
We're all going to use them. We're all going to use all these teams within the first.
Tell you what, if those Bengals look bad this week, they might be getting fired quicker than you think. But yeah, can't believe we're already into week 2. Kind of crazy. This is going to fly by, and then I'm going to be miserable again for like 6 months. So
I know.
Ooh. Thursday night. Did you almost shit your pants?
Yep.
I knew that noise. Thursday night we have a fucking banger. I'm interested. I hope the Bills wear red jerseys and the fucking Dolphins wear some sweet white ones. That'd be sick. Because I like the Thursday night. I liked when they did those alternate color rush uniforms on Thursdays. Those were dope. But we got Bills Dolphins. Like I said, Josh Allen's got a little hand. It's his left hand. He's not going to sit out a game. He's too much of a fucking dog.
Dolphins. I've seen this line went from 1.5 to 2.5.
Yeah, Dolphins have a lot of injuries. A-Chain's questionable.
Mostert's out.
Mostert's toast.
Odell Beckham Jr. He haven't even touched foot in Miami yet.
Yeah, he's literally still in Cleveland. Doesn't know or Baltimore, wherever the fuck he was last year.
LA something.
Yeah.
New York.
But Bills Dolphins. Bill, who are you taking?
Go Bills.
Bills. I feel like just because they're at home, I want to take the Dolphins. But who would I be if I go against Josh Allen at this point in my life? So I'm going to take the Bills as well.
I'm also going to go Bills.
Well, perfect. So we're all going to be 1-0 or 0-1. As you know, Sunday we start with Dallas. It's on the favorites. It's at the top of the list. At home versus the Saints. I can't remember the stat, but Dak is like 20-3.
21-9.
At home, 6 or more. There's no way he's been favored 30 times by 6.5 points or more at home, right?
I believe it was 21-9.
Either way, Dallas at home, favored by 6 or more points. Dak Prescott's record's unbelievable. I think the Cowboys win the game.
I also do. I'll go Cowboys.
I'll go Saints.
Really?
I'm not mad at that.
Well, neither am I.
Should be a big Kamara game for me.
Raiders, Ravens.
I think those corners are going to lock shit up, and Kamara's going to get
the little dump passes. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I always love Kamara.
7 catches for Kamara. I'm calling it.
7?
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably double digits.
Okay, I love it.
Raiders, Ravens. Give me the Ravens.
Give me the Ravens.
Ravens.
See, these are the games where it's interesting because I feel like you pick one and it's like, I don't know. Browns, Jags. If I told you on Monday the Browns won 20-17, or if I told you the Jags won 20-13, like you're going to be surprised either.
I got to keep it as simple as I can keep it. The Jags looked really good and they blew the game. The Browns looked terrible the whole game, and it's in Jacksonville. Give me the Jags.
So I get these weird things on TikTok. I just got a notification. Simone Biles' husband, Jonathan Owens, is leaving Bears training camp to watch Biles compete in Paris. Why am I getting that 6 months after it happened?
Who gives a fuck?
I got a thing that the Francis Scott Key Bridge got hit, and I was like, they just hit that.
The guy who wrote the Star Spangled Banner?
I believe so.
Or did he write The Great Gatsby?
Either way.
F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote The Great Gatsby.
Same thing.
Francis
Scott Key for sure.
But I get these weird notifications like
First
months
name's
later.
Fuck.
First name's Fuck.
Fuck Scott Fitzgerald.
Since it's at home, I'll take the Jags.
Jags.
Jets, Titans, Jets.
3.5 spread?
Yeah.
Jets.
Ooh, buy the hook?
Buy that hook.
Buy that hook and -3 those Jets, boys.
I took them -175 on the money line.
It's much better bet. Much better bet.
I also took them.
If you buy the hook, it's going to be similar odds anyway, like -140.
40. Just take the numbers out of it.
Yeah, take the numbers at it. New York Jets money line is beautiful.
I just can't imagine with Will Levis fucking leading the ship how they're going to beat
the Bears
Jets.
defense did what they did to the Titans offense. What are the Jets defense going to do?
Especially after losing their first game.
For all you guys thinking, well, the Jets The Niners are the best team in football on paper and in the regular season. Don't worry about it.
My mom said the other night, "Who's the best team?" And Danny said, "Well, these guys on paper." She goes, "What the fuck does that mean?" On paper. And I was like, they have the best players, but in February when they play Patrick Mahomes, they will lose.
All of a sudden, they're not the best team anymore.
What the fuck does that
Jets,
mean?
Titans, everyone's on the Jets. Niners, Vikings. The last 5 or 6 times the Niners have been in Minnesota, they've lost. Last year it happened. Remember, Debo was out. Trent Williams was out.
Well, they're not out. So.
They're not out. McCaffrey is, and they have Sam Darnold. They look good.
I also let the Brock Purdy being 0-2 with 1 touchdown and 6 interceptions on Monday nights get to my head a little bit too much.
Yeah.
He now he's 1-2.
McCaffrey's out, but Mason looked fucking good.
Give me Niners. Give me
the Niners as well.
Niners.
I like that game though.
Chargers, Panthers, Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers.
Yeah, I just wanted to skip through that one, but Niners, Vikings. I do like that game. I think it's slept on. I think you look and it's a fist fight in the fourth quarter, and you're like, damn, what the fuck?
I was gonna say, give me under before I saw the total. In this next game, the sports book knows that this is an under game.
Seahawks, Patriots in New England, first game at home for Gerard Mayo. I'm sure the crowd will be thumping.
2 new head coaches. I like this game. I'll go Seahawks.
I'll go Seahawks as well. I would like the Seahawks money line, but I like the Jets with the same money lines price. Give me the Jets. Like I feel like if this game's 3.5, the Jets Titans should be
again by the hooks of betting show. I would stay away from this game. I would go Jets.
So would I.
If you're thinking about money lining this or buying the hook down to -3 for the Seahawks, do that with the Jets instead.
Seahawks, Pats, Bill.
Seahawks.
What do you think about the under in this next game? That's a lot of points. I feel now. How the fuck is that?
I hate betting totals on 2 shit teams because are they going to be so shit on defense or are they going to be so shit on offense?
Well, here's the thing: the Giants' D line is going to cause fits for the Commanders.
Commanders' D line is going to do the same.
And
I'll go under.
The
I like the
Giants'
under.
offense is so bad.
Yeah, I like the under in this game.
They're
You're right.
so bad. I see that it could be 21-17, and that's 38. There's no way. How many more points are they going to score?
Yeah.
The only reason that the over what happened in the Commanders and Bucks game is because they put up 37. But their offense is way better than the fucking Giants. It's a division game. I mean, I don't really like to say must-win games, but for your team, if you're looking at the team across the field from you and it's Giants or Commanders and you're 0-1 already, it's going to be a long season if you let them kick your ass.
Yeah, I'm going to go Commanders here, though.
Home team, I'm taking Commanders.
Yeah.
Come on, Ryan. Give our team a fucking win here, brother. Bill?
Commanders.
Bucks, Lions in Detroit.
What a game. Here's my problem with Sunday. What a game. This could be Sunday night, couldn't it?
This could...
You know what the fuck is on Sunday night?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we
That should be on the
talking about?
CW.
Texans, Bears.
Ooh.
They really want to get Caleb
CW.
down your throat.
CW.
You have to have AMC Plus to watch that game.
Bucks, Lions. Just to be a cunt, I'm going to take the Buccaneers.
It's indoors. It's in Detroit. It's in the Detroit Lions' favor. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Lions win.
Lions.
Cool. Colts, Packers. If Jordan Love was in this game, I'd flip a coin and whichever way it landed, I would pick it.
I agree.
Taking the Colts.
Taking the Colts as well.
Colts.
Another one here. Rams, Cardinals. The Rams were favored by 1.5, 2 points when this line opened. Shifted to Cardinals -1, which in that case, I mean, injuries play a part, but people were betting the Cardinals.
These aren't big home advantage teams anyway. I'm going to go with the Rams.
With the Rams injuries, give me the Cardinals.
How are we looking on September 29th for you heading to that Cardinals-Commanders game?
Haven't started my new job yet, even.
Kidoki artichoke.
We'll go Rams.
Rams.
And you're out? You're going to Bobby's wedding.
Yeah.
Steelers, Broncos in Denver.
It's a tough place to play.
I'm not going to.
We talked about this on By the Hook. Sorry to interrupt you. We talked about this on By the Hook where I was saying I got too many fucking. I liked 5 teams money line, but they were all on the road. So I said I got to pick one good team. Who am I most confident in? And I said the Steelers I'm not the most confident in, just because it's hard to play in Mile High. I still think the Steelers win this game, so I'm going to go Steelers.
So do I. I'm not going to overthink it.
Yeah.
Playing in Mile High does suck. It's hard, but the Broncos are so bad. They should be able to squeak out a win against them.
Steelers.
Bengals, Chiefs. Joe Burrow is 3-1 against Patrick Mahomes in his career. It's in Arrowhead. They're calling it Burrowhead. I think that people are forgetting about that. I feel like the Chiefs this year are like that team where it's like, hey, they won the Super Bowl. They shouldn't have this many teams that they're like pissed off at. But they are coming into some games like the Raiders are fucking with them for some God knows reason. Bengals have been talking shit to them because they beat them fucking one time in the playoffs.
Yeah, you call it Burrowhead. They've won 2 Super Bowls since.
Yeah.
But I believe it's Burrowhead. I'm going Bengals.
Oh, well, this is one of those games next week where you're going to be like, why did I do that? Give me the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I'm not in a rude way. Depending on how the game goes, I'll be surprised if Joe Burrow doesn't have some sort of ailment that it's like he's out for a little bit or he
Wrist did not look good.
Exits the game.
Did not look good.
Sunday night, Bears-Texans. This was one of my teaser legs with the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Texans. I think that they will just be too much for the Bears. Both sides of the ball. Kicking game.
Couldn't agree more. Texans. You took the words out of my mouth. Nothing to say here.
Texans.
Monday night, 6.5-point spread here. I feel like that could be a lot of points just because the Eagles aren't a new offense.
Different team, but the Falcons the last couple of years have been big cover the spread teams. So I do kind of like the Falcons plus 6.5. Might as well. I'd buy that hook up to 7 just to play it a little safer. It's not really. I'm going to go Philly to win, though.
I'm taking Philly also.
Eagles.
One thing to look for to week 2 is what teams kind of are establishing their identity and what teams just played week 1 and were like, hey, what are we doing out here? You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm looking for the Lions to run the ball, if they can, obviously, down the fucking Buccaneers' throat. Looking to see if the Bills have anything on offense, because I saw a couple plays where Dalton Kincaid had, these are the 3 defenders, and he's standing right here. They were taking him out of that game. So I'm interested to see how, teams adjust to other teams, but this week I'm going to look at and try to see who's kind of establishing their identity. If Josh Allen's just Superman, I feel like the Bills might be in trouble.
Yep.
Anything else for the NFL before we move on to college?
Let's do the fantasy thing, Bill.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk some fantasy. I'm trying to tell Ryan, I'm begging and pleading with him, fucking trade Christian McCaffrey. If you have him, this injury looks like 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12 weeks. The Niners have no reason to play that guy. They have no reason to. I have him in Michael's league.
Not until they're like 4 and 5, which
won't
they
happen.
Be.
I'm not trying to be an asshole. I have him in Michael's league. I was actually going to ask Danny who was a moron in Michael's league that I could trade McCaffrey to. I don't like having guys, especially a guy on the Niners, where it's like, dude, you don't need this guy to play right now. You don't have to have him play. Clearly, there was something going on. They felt like, no, we don't need him, and they killed the
time.
Yeah, they have no reason to rush him back.
Honestly, they could do that with their quarterback even.
They could. Last year, Sam Darnold came in and played perfectly fine. He's not going to win you the game. If it's a game where it's like tied at the end and shit, it's like there's probably other factors that happen there. But I just, like I said, McCaffrey, it's the first year I've ever kind of wanted an early pick in one of my leagues just to kind of see how it goes. I get the guy who's fucking already out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got fantasy-wise?
I wanted you to give us what you had for the last time you played fantasy before.
So last time I played was in 2016.
Okay.
So in the NFL, so this is because when I played, it was running backs were the big thing to get because they scored all the touchdowns, and then quarterbacks and wide receivers were like,
yeah.
So I'm just going to ask you, I just went to Pro Football Reference just to get like the top leaders and everything. Who do you think was a Super Bowl champion in 2016?
What do I think?
Or who won it?
The Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Was
Patriots?
New England?
Patriots.
I was going to say, that was 17 was the Eagles.
AP MVP.
Tom Brady. The MVP of the league.
They beat the Falcons. It was Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
It was. Good call.
AP Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Oof.
Jesus Christ.
Ezekiel Elliott. Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott. Defensive Rookie of the Year.
The year that Dak got Offensive Rookie of the Year, who the fuck got Defensive Rookie of the Year? TJ Watt? No. Cornerback?
No, at the end. A guy with that TJ Watt kind of motor, and he's in that conversation still with him.
Not Myles Garrett. He's not been around that long.
No. Defensive rookie.
Trey Hendrickson. Max Crosby.
You shit your pants. Excuse me.
Is it a black guy?
No,
Fuck.
but he loves chasing black guys.
Nick Bosa.
His brother.
Joey
Joey
Bosa.
Bosa.
That's what I meant.
Offensive Player of the Year.
Wow. It was Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa was the 3rd overall pick, and Zeke was the 4th. Fuck. I should have known that.
Offensive player of the
From
year.
the same school, Ohio State. Sorry. Offensive Player of the Year in 2016. Was it a Cowboy? Damn. We didn't get it, huh?
Offensive Player of the Year? No.
Aaron Rodgers? Tom Brady?
It wasn't a quarterback.
Julio?
was?
It was?
Who was the other guy that was up for MVP that year?
Nate Payton. He's gone. Russell Wilson?
It was the MVP. Matt Ryan won both.
Oh, Matt Ryan won both. Oh, we should have just done
Defensive Player of the Year.
You got both?
Yeah, he got both.
They don't really do that anymore.
I think now they give it to the best position player, skill position. Defensive Player of the Year.
J.J. Watt.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
Aaron Donald.
Jalen Ramsey. Nope. it a corner?
The end.
Ain't the rookie of the year, Joey Bosa. You never got it.
No.
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack.
Good fucking guess here.
Oh, passing leader in yards.
Matt Ryan. Tom Brady. Drew Brees.
Drew Brees. Rushing leader in yards.
Adrian Peterson. Zeke Elliott. Bang.
Slow down, motherfucker. Like, goddamn.
Receiving leader in yards.
Julio.
Antonio Brown. Neither of those? Julio?
No, you're not going to get this one.
Shut your mouth. I'll get it.
Allen Robinson. Odell Beckham Jr. Alshon Jeffrey.
2016.
Des Bryant.
AJ Green.
Oh, what a guess. Fuck me, AFC or NFC?
AFC.
D-Hop.
Oh, I thought you hit it. Don't you fucking say it. Wow. Julian Edelman?
Nope.
No.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, though.
You said AFC?
Yeah.
So it ain't Larry or something like that. Come on, Eric.
AFC.
Brandon Marshall.
No, AFC South.
I was thinking of the divisions.
So was I.
So Titans, Colts, Texans, Jags.
You said no, D-Hop.
Who's on the Colts that year even?
Reggie Wayne.
Oh, my
You got the
God.
right team, though.
Who is on the Colts that year, man?
Wide receiver.
Yeah, it was a receiving leader. It was a fucking
Tight
punt.
end.
It was a punter.
Get the fuck. Andre Johnson.
No.
Texans. This is gonna fucking drive me up a wall, dude. I'm not letting them say it.
I know, man. A Colts. There's some Colts.
T.Y. Hilton.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some Colts fan that's like,
T.Y. Hilton.
what a dog. Fuck, man, what a name to forget. I named some names, but then there's that. If you name that guy, you're a dog.
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton.
You're a dog.
That I have most passing touchdowns since 2020. Top 5.
Tom Brady.
Nope, he's number 6.
Wow. Since 2020, how long has he have not played? Patrick Mahomes.
First with 144.
Josh Allen.
Second with 139.
Dak Prescott.
He's 8th.
Yeah, he's missed some seasons there. Russell Wilson.
7th.
Wow.
A-Rod's not on there?
5th with 112.
Fifth, yeah, I figured.
Lamar. No.
Yeah.
Since 2020.
Lamar's 14th.
Yeah, I was going to say, that guy sucks.
This should be a lot better than what we're doing right now, Eric.
No, because the problem is I don't want to start saying Derek Carr, Geno Smith,
Right.
Gardner Minshew.
Justin Herbert.
4th with 115.
How many? What are we missing?
3rd with 116.
2020. This isn't right, but Kirk Cousins.
He's him.
Yeah. I see. Like that's what I'm saying because there's one
Where's
or
Derek
two.
Carr on that list?
He's got to be top 10.
Derek Carr is 10th.
Yeah, I was gonna say 10th,
Yeah.
9th or 10th.
And then this one just most quarterback playoff wins of all time.
Tom
Top
Brady.
5. Tom Brady has 35.
Joe Montana.
Second with 16.
Second
Stevie-
with how many?
16.
And he had 35.
Yep.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes.
Third
He's
with
third.
15.
Aaron Rodgers. 4th.
No.
No.
Peyton Manning. 4th.
4th with 4. He's tied for 4th with 14.
Steve Young.
Tied for 4th with 14. And there's 2 more guys tied with them at 14.
Obviously, Tony Romo.
Kurt Warner.
Not Kurt.
Brady Quinn.
I didn't even hear what you said until I just
Tony Romo.
Ben Roethlisberger.
He's got 13. Nope.
Oh, you cunt.
These are one quarterback was in the 90s and one is fucking 60s or 70s or some shit like
What's
that.
that?
Bart Starr.
No, the other asshole.
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah.
There we go. 90s.
Yeah.
Dan Marino. Fuck him.
Has 2 Super Bowls.
This guy has 2 Super Bowls in the 90s.
Elway.
Yep.
Bang.
Where's my? Never mind. Nothing. Someone's calling me.
I'm good.
Yeah. I just don't understand what that could be.
I'm good.
Yeah. Guido Quinton Williams. That's his name, right?
I'm good. Can you look up the top 10 non-quarterback fantasy scores? This is a lot. The top 10 fantasy scorers in 2016, but not quarterbacks.
I thought that's what he was asking us.
That's what I thought was going to
I thought
happen
that's what
as
he
well.
said. I thought he said last time I played fantasy, but I think he did say awards.
I have 2016 NFL fantasy rankings.
Yeah, I'd be that.
Should be point-wise, yeah.
Yeah, there should be a little
Says,
tab.
fantasy points.
Yep, that's what we're asking.
Yeah. A lot of QBs here. All right.
Yeah,
who's the first non-QB?
Adrian Peterson. Who was the wide receiver? T.Y. Hilton? Zeke?
Zeke is second.
Is it a running back?
Yeah.
Todd Gurley.
No.
That guy was a dog, dude.
Doug Martin.
Doug Martin's fucking crazy.
Is he on there?
Doug Martin.
Yeah, he's 456th.
No, I don't see him.
Damn, I'm guessing some fucking names here, though.
Yeah, you are.
What thought of name? Lamar Miller.
No.
Fuck you. Jeez, it's a running back?
Yeah.
You sure?
David Johnson.
Oh, that cunt from the Cardinals.
David Johnson was first. Zeke was second. Third, fourth, and fifth are all running backs as well in points.
Oh, wow.
Running backs are killing it, man.
I mean, there's quarterbacks, of course.
The quarterbacks are the top scorers, but the problem is there's so many quarterbacks up there that you take a running back, a receiver.
5, 6, 7, 8. The top 8 non-quarterbacks are all running backs.
How has the game changed, huh? Man, we got to think here, brother. Can you give us some teams that they're on?
This one, third is the Bills, fourth is the Steelers, and fifth is the Titans.
Le'Veon Bell.
Derrick Henry.
No. Who would Titans?
The Titans?
Oh, Chris Johnson? No.
Zeke's on the Cowboys. Who had to go to the Titans?
Oh, DeMarco Murray.
Yep. And then
Holy shit, dude. He
I
hooped.
didn't know he had that good of a year.
Yeah.
and then the Bills. He's not originally a Bill.
Doug Martin. I'm going to stick to that. Reggie Bush.
I want to say a guy, but I don't think it's him.
Go ahead.
Singletary?
Nope.
No, fuck no. I know this one.
Like, you've named half the league.
Go ahead for it.
Shady McCoy.
LaShawn McCoy.
And
God,
then
he had
after
that good of a
them-
year with the Bills?
Devontae Freeman and LeGarrette Blount and Melvin Gordon wrap out the top 8.
Melvin Gordon, what a name.
Who do you think the top wide receiver was?
T.Y. Hilton.
No.
Antonio
Julio.
Brown.
Julio Brown?
Antonio Brown, he said Julio Jones.
No. He was the third wide receiver.
Who's he?
Antonio Brown.
Des Bryant.
No.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Nope.
Brandon Marshall.
Obsession with Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah.
It's got to be
He
Alshon.
had one
Allen
year.
Robinson.
No.
Fuck you.
He wasn't?
We just talked about him earlier on the show. Mr. Consistent.
Mike Evans?
Mike Evans.
In 2016?
2016, Mike Evans had the most points for a wide receiver. Jordy Nelson was second. Antonio Brown third. OBJ fourth. And T.Y. Hilton was fifth. Julio was sixth.
So T.Y. was getting yards, but he wasn't scoring for fuck
And-
all.
Tay was actually seventh.
That's Julio's
Damn, you know who was eighth? Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks is a dog, dude. I'm
On
telling you.
the Rams at that point?
Could have been.
Saints.
New Orleans.
Wow. But yeah, fantasy-wise, I just think you got to start making moves with these guys like McCaffrey. I'm looking to get him off of my team. Just because some guys going to be like, well, if I look at their team, like if he comes back in 3-4 weeks, and I'm looking at it as like, I don't think the Niners have any reason to make that guy come back, or even if he does, what are you going to give him the ball third? That guy, the backup, if you would have put a fucking some tape around that dude and not know what he looked like, you'd be like, oh, that's McCaffrey. Like he was running wild out there. Like it didn't matter that he wasn't out there. And the Jets have a top 5 defense in the league. So what the fuck?
run game scheming of Kyle Shanahan and them boys, and the O line plus George Kittle and Debo and Brandon Ayuk can block as well. Kyle Juszczyk. The scheming and all that, it's easy to be a running back in that system. But that dude can run too. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah, he can move.
it's easy.
I think they said Kyle Shanahan has more undrafted running backs that have scored a touchdown for him than like anybody of all time. So he's going to get guys ready to play. It doesn't really matter. You guys have anything else NFL-wise, or should we just break down college real quick?
Yeah.
I was gonna say with fantasy, same like we said earlier. After I said, don't not to overreact to anything in week 1 with the teams and this and that, and I do that. Same with fantasy. Don't overreact too much, except for injuries.
That's the one thing is injuries.
Like Don't panic if Amon-Ra and CD didn't have great weeks. It'll be okay.
No, not at all. Don't panic about that. Christian McCaffrey.
If you took Puka Nacua in the second round or McCaffrey in the first, get them the fuck off your team now.
Especially, like I said, I'm not trying to be a dick to Ryan. You look at his team. If he flips that for Jordan Mason right now, and I don't even want McCaffrey. I'm trying to get Debo from him for Jordan Mason, who's just going to fill in for McCaffrey until he comes back. And then you have the backup running back. And then I'm going to give him another Zay Flowers, Brian Thomas.
I think you lose that.
I don't know, man. My team is stacked. If I get Debo.
Whatever, brother. Here's another thing. Let's say McCaffrey's like, what if he's only out 7 weeks? Well, then 8 weeks, 8, 9, and 10, he's not going to run the ball 25 times.
Yeah, you act like you're going to get the guy back and he's just going to start running wild.
And here's the thing, he goes, okay, well, he should be good to go and running wild when it comes playoff time. Are you going to be there?
No.
Without your first round pick for the whole year?
I mean,
he's projected 95 fucking points.
I honestly also look at Ryan's team, and like I said, I feel like when you have that first pick, you have to start taking the best guys off the board. And him leaving Josh Allen there in the third round kind of fucked him. Unless Jane Daniels is kind of...
Didn't fuck me.
No, not at all. If I had him, you guys would be in really fucking trouble. Good is good with NFL.
Yeah.
College, said that Boise was getting too many points at Oregon. Should have won that game. Oregon State, it's 16 this week in Oregon State from what Danny's telling me. I just don't see how Oregon blows them out there. Notre Dame does it again, man. Yeah.
Texas kicked the shit out of Michigan.
Texas, Michigan. Michigan doesn't have a quarterback. They don't have an offense. The one other game I wanted to talk about was Colorado, just because I feel like that hype of them and everything with Colorado, it's like, bro, at a certain point, like we were just talking about with Bryce on in the clinch, you guys can sit there and say all you want, but when you get out on the field and you got to play, the scoreboard's going to do all the shit talking for you,
Last one for the NFL. As the playoff,
we're only halfway through college.
The playoff picture looks right now, who's the 1 seed in the AFC?
What?
As the playoff picture looks right now, who's the 1 seed in the AFC?
Most points scored.
Yeah.
They beat a division team, so they have a division win as well.
They beat a division team?
Yep.
Texans?
Nope, they're the 3 seed.
Who beat the division winner then?
The Los Angeles Chargers are the 1 seed in the AFC.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Who's the 1 seed in the NFC? The New Orleans Saints are the 1 seed in the NFC.
Why are you doing that?
I'm sorry, that was fun.
Interrupted a fucking great segment. But yeah, with Colorado, it's like, hey man, we're gonna play on Saturdays, and you having your dad and your son and your friends and all that works until the other team scores more points than you, and then after the game, you guys
the game's over.
You guys look like real assholes.
Shooter was walking into the locker room.
He was hurt, but I don't dislike it. I mean, you hate the people, I get it. I'm not mad at it. I used to be that guy too. But I just think, yeah, well, guess what? They put the ball out there and rolled it out there and you lost. And
I think he's a good quarterback. He throws a good ball, but I don't think has pocket presence.
No, I think he's a good.
I don't think he's mobile either. I don't think it's going to work.
He was great in
Jackson State, whatever that
Jackson State, and then playing against the Division II school.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Like I said, he'll beat fucking...
No, I'll say this.
North Dakota State and possibly Colorado State, but Nebraska with Matt Rule, Matt Rule's building a program there.
Matt Rule's 2-0 and ranked 23 now.
They're coming.
I'll say this. If he gets drafted this year and Aaron Rodgers plays 3 more years at the Jets and he gets drafted to the Jets and he's behind Aaron Rodgers for those 3 years, that would be great. I think he would be good.
He'd be good then.
Or to Cowboys, and he's back up to Dak for the remainder of Dak's Dak's contract, then Dak fucks off and he comes in. I think he'd be good.
Yeah.
He could be good in those situations, but if you draft him to the Broncos, if he was Bo Nick's shoes right now, he would suck cock.
Exactly. It goes like that for everybody. But with college, like I said, Notre Dame losing to a basically Division II school and fucking MAC school after a big win. And apparently the Northern Illinois coach told Marcus Freeman, I'll talk to you after the game we'll talk in a little bit about how we schemed to beat you, and they did talk, which is cool, but it's like, you got to go out there and put your foot in someone's neck. You win one big game, and then if they were 2-0 and they won 38-10, I'd be like, okay, whatever. If they won 28-10, I'd be like, whatever. It's a win. You know what I mean? They had a big game the week before, but to lose that game, looks like Riley Leonard isn't going to be terrific throwing the ball downfield.
He sucks.
Now we're probably gonna have to fight and scratch and claw to be the 12 seed. And even then what?
You got to win out.
Oh, you have no choice. Yeah, there's no.
You gotta hope that USC is undefeated at the end of the year.
You could have
Florida State's
lost to
not
USC or Florida State or something like that and been 11-1, 10-2. You probably could have lost both those games and been 10-2 and made the 12 seed because of that A&M and the remainder of your schedule being wins. Because you beat the teams you're supposed to beat and you went into A&M and won, you could have afforded some shit. That puts you right back to where you can't afford nothing anymore.
No, you're toast. The only other thing I wanted to bring up, Tennessee looked very good. They played 24 ranked North Carolina State. It's still early. We're not sure
I mean,
who's great.
You score 80 points on a shitty team week one, and then you beat
51.
Then you beat a fucking
top 25 team.
NC State, right?
Yeah.
And then you beat NC State convincingly. It's like, so far you look fucking great.
Yeah, you're playing who's in front of you and you're kicking the dick out of them. But yeah, that's pretty much it for college.
That true freshman wide receiver. He was the number one player in the country last year out of high school, wherever 24/7 had him number one. Geno Smith's cousin, Jeremiah Smith, I believe is his name. He looks fantastic. Geno Smith said he's going to be the best wide receiver of all time. I mean, it's his cousin.
Yeah.
But he did. He fucking looked great. He's been their leading scorer in yards and I believe touchdowns for weeks 1 and 2. I mean, fucking 18 years old.
Yeah, this week, Arizona and Kansas State's really the big ranked matchup on Friday night at 5 o'clock. I love a good Friday night.
UNLV Kansas. I like UNLV to win that money line.
I do too, actually. I thought that was a lot of points to be getting. UNLV's getting like 7.5 or something. And I think, honestly, I don't know if I'd say they'd win the game, but I like taking those points there.
Well, I like them to win the game, so I like the points.
Yeah, of course. The only other couple big games, Boston College, who I think is very good, goes to Missouri. Missouri's favored by 16.5. Just because they're at home, but that's a lot of points, I think, too. And then the big game is Georgia-Kentucky. Georgia's favored by 24. I mean, It's in Kentucky, so maybe for a little bit, Kentucky can fuck around and scare them, but they're going to
cook up an underdog parlay real quick.
Underdog parlay?
Oregon State money line, UNLV money line.
Let me see what the actual spread in UNLV is.
I believe it's 6.5 or 7.
I think when I saw it was floating around.
7 right now.
Yeah.
Plus 7 on William Hill. K-State money line?
Against Arizona?
Oh, Arizona money line would be. I like K-State to win that.
The problem is like you talked about on By the Hook, how much are you going to ask for to happen?
You're right. I'm a homo.
Yep. I didn't say that, but I don't disagree.
I don't know if you needed this.
Like what you should do is just put $20 on Purdue money line against Notre Dame at home because Purdue's a fucking. After last week, Notre Dame, he's either going to come in and.
Boston College money line.
Who they got?
Mizzou.
Like I said, I don't know if I like them going to Missouri, but I don't like college at all right now. College, I feel like I like to wait it out a little bit. NFL, I feel like they kind of fuck the lines up based off of summer and shit, and you can kind of find some winners there.
We haven't been talking for a long time.
No, I was just going to ask you guys, you guys got anything else?
I'm good to go, brother.
Bill?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good.
They're doing another buy-in for the Survivor, but I'm not going to do that.
No, you beat me, fool me one time. You know?
Yeah, shame on me at that point if I get it happen to me again. We all pick Chargers for our Survivor pick. Yeah, like I said, go watch By the Hook for some betting. We have Just Hand Jones on in the clinch this week.
Bang!
About 306. Should we even bring that up on this?
Go subscribe to In the Clinch.
Yeah, but Sean O'Malley's going to knock Marab's fucking teeth out. Just basically what the gist of that was. But other than that, like I said, as always, let's win some money this weekend. I hope most of the players in the NFL stay healthy. There's a couple who I don't like that I wouldn't mind seeing, getting carted off or something.
No, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah. But we'll see you next week. Like I said, my main concern this week, if you have Christian McCaffrey, if you get a fucking wide receiver 2, a running back 2 back for him, I would just take it and run. That's what I'm going to look to do in Michael's league. Like I said, I wanted to ask him about who I could maybe trade. The one reason I was pissed, I was down 20 going into Monday night, and in Michael's league, you can't drop anybody who's already played. In Sleeper, in our leagues, you can do a guy who's on the bench. So I basically just had to concede, and he would have won me that game. So
I'm on the verge of shitting my pants.
All right,
let's get out of here.
Everybody have a good night, and let's go Cowboys, let's go Notre Dame, let's win some goddamn money.